Okay, friends, we are moving ahead with malaria part 2. In the first part, we have seen about the introduction of malarial parasites. We know that it's a protozoal disease. These are the signs and symptoms of malaria. The patient will be presented with high grade temperature, with chills, with profuse headache, body ache, right? So these are the symptoms. Examine the patient, you may find enlarged liver and spleen. On blood examination, you may find PS4MP positive, that is peripheral smear may show malarial parasites. On top of that, patient may be having anemia, WBC count will be lesser, leukopenia, thrombocytopenia, and hyperbilirubinemia because of hemolysis. So these are the symptoms and signs of malaria, patients of malaria. In the part 1, we have discussed about the conventional remedies, chloroquine, quinine, primaquine, proguanil, and sulfadoxine pyrimethamine combination, mefloquine, quinine. So all these conventional drugs we have already discussed. In this part, we will be discussing about the newer antimalarials are artemisinin derivatives, halophantrin derivatives, etowaquone, tetranaridine, pyronaridine, etc. But some of the drugs are not available in India. But we will be focusing more on artemisinin derivatives and lumefantrine. That is more useful, and nowadays it is first line therapy for malaria. Let us discuss first about artemisinin derivatives. Artemisinin derivatives are rapid and potent blood cytocidal drugs. They are effective against all drug resistant, even P. falciparum. That means so far no resistance has developed against any of the artemisinin derivatives. If we look to the mechanism of action, how they are useful or how they are acting, artemisinin derivatives react with the heme and they cause cleavage of endoperoxide bond and they form a complex with the heme cleaved endoperoxide bond and artemisinin derivatives form a complex. Complex come in contact with the iron, they will release free radicals, oxidative free radicals. These free radicals will cause lysis of membrane proteins of parasite and they will cause parasitic killing. They will kill the parasite. How? They will inhibit some of the enzymes of parasite, parasitic adenosine triphosphate, malarial protein, and glutathione transferase, that is the enzyme which is responsible for breaking down of cytotoxic hematine. So in nutshell, they will kill the artesunate and artemether. They are slightly shorter acting drugs. Their half-life is only 7 to 10 hours. So 5 days therapy is required. Whereas Artether is Indian brand whose half-life is longer, 23 hours. So 3-day therapy is sufficient. If we look to the formulations available, artesunate can be given orally also. Initially on day 1, we have to give loading dose 100 milligram oral tablet twice a day, followed by next 4 days 50 milligram tablets twice a day can be given. If patient cannot tolerate oral therapy or if patient is not conscious, then we can give artesunate by parenteral therapy also. 120 milligram given by intramuscular or dissolved in IV if the patient is dehydrated on day 1, followed by 60 milligram by parenteral route can be given for next 4 days. Artemether is not available in oral formulation, so we have to give it parenterally only. 80 milligram twice a day on day 1 by intramuscular route or intravenous route, followed by 60 milligram once a day for next 4 days. Artether, which is Indian origin, also cannot be given by oral administration. We have to give it parenterally in the dose of 150 milligram intramuscularly for 3 days, along with other symptomatic management. It is claimed that when artemisinin derivatives are combined with mefloquine, recrudescence stage of malarial parasites can be prevented if we give it with mefloquine 15 milligram per kilogram single dose. Artemisinin derivatives are also not free from adverse drug reactions. Nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain and itching is obviously there. Plus, abnormal bleeding and dark colored urine will be felt by the patient. If patient is having some cardiac abnormality, then ST changes, QTC prolongation, and up to the level of first degree AV block can be seen. Reversible transient reticulopenia can be experienced by the patient, or leukopenia can be seen. Another newer derivative is halofentrin and lumefantrine derivative. Halofentrin is not available in India, but lumefantrine is included in artemisinin based combination therapy also. Both of them are blood sesonticidal drugs. Their mechanism of action is they bind with ferriprotoporphyrin 9, that is the excretory product, or in nowadays it is called as hemozoin, that is because of the digestion of hemoglobin by parasites. The parasite will release hemozoin or ferriprotoporphyrin 9, that can be considered as the receptor to bind with this lumefantrine and halofentrin derivatives. Then this complex will interfere with the degradation of toxic hemoglobin, and they will also release free radicals that will cause rupture of parasitic cell membrane and can cause parasitic death. Dosage of lumefantrine or halofentrin is 0.5 to 1 grams can be given orally, followed by 0.5 gram after 6 hours. Adverse effects of halofentrin is abdominal pain, diarrhea, itching and rashes, prolongation of QTC interval. Occasionally it can increase serum transaminase, and sometimes it may cause serious ventricular arrhythmias which may turn out to be fatal. Because of the unreliable oral absorption and serious cardiac toxicity, halofentrin is not approved in India. Mind well. But lumefantrine can be kept reserved for multi-drug resistant falciparum when no other drug is working. Lumefantrine is also added in ACT. ACT is artemisinin based combination therapy. Friends, this can be asked in a short note also in this short form ACT. It is claimed that when single drug fail to decrease the prevalence of malaria, or even chloroquine or multi-drug resistant P. falciparum is there, WHO has recommended for acute uncomplicated resistant falciparum should be treated by combination of artemisinin and other newer anti-malarials. This is WHO recommendation. What are the advantages of ACT? There will be rapid and clinical parasitological cure, more than 95% cure rates and low recrudescence rate, no chance of development of resistance, and good oral tolerability. If there is more tolerability, better compliance of the patient. Patient will have better compliance. ACT regimes for uncomplicated falciparum are artesunate mefloquine combination, artesunate 100 mg BD for 3 days plus mefloquine 750 mg on day 2 and mefloquine 500 mg on day 3. This is known as ASMQ therapy. Artemether lumefantrine combination, artemether 80 mg BD plus lumefantrine 480 mg BD for 3 days. Artesunate sulfadoxine pyrimethamine combination, that is ASSP combination. Artesunate 100 mg BD for 3 days plus sulfadoxine that fixed dose combination 1500 mg and pyrimethamine 75 mg single dose can be given. These are the recommendation given in your textbook also. So I am not going into detail This is ACT regimens for uncomplicated falciparum malaria. We will look into detail about when we will discuss about management. Next newer anti-malarial is etowaquon, a rapidly acting erythrocytic sesonticidal drug. On top of the malarial parasite, this etowaquon is effective on Plasmodia girovesi and Toxoplasma gondii also. The mechanism of action is that this drug collapses plasmoidal mitochondrial membrane, so no ATP production, so the energy will be depleted and parasite will die. Etowaquon is given with proguanil, that will show much synergism. 250 milligram of etowaquon with proguanil 100 milligram will be given for 3 days. Side effects are milder, rashes, headache, diarrhea and vomiting. Friends, after discussing about newer anti-malarials, let us see management of malaria. Management of malaria can be in 3 stages. Prophylactically, we have to prevent malaria, clinically, we have to treat malaria, and we have to provide radical cure. So, for prophylaxis, if patient is going to the chloroquine sensitive zone, obviously chloroquine base 2 tablet once a week with or without proguanil 200 milligram. If patient is going to the chloroquine resistant zone, the geographical area where chloroquine resistance is more prevalent, then mefloquine 250 milligram once a week or doxycycline 100 milligram daily. But mind well, this prophylactic therapy should be started prior to their visit. They have to start 1 week prior. They should be continued throughout the stay in the endemic zone and must continue at least for 4 weeks after they leave the endemic. Now we come to the clinical cure. For uncomplicated malaria, if it is Vivax or falciparum or mixed. For Vivax, chloroquine dose we have seen for 3 days and primaquine 15 milligram for 14 days. For falciparum, for rest of the India, ASP, that is artemisinin, sulfadoxine, pyrimethamine combination, and primaquine can be given on day 2, that is 45 milligram on day 2. In North Indian states, northeastern state, artemisinin, lumefantrine combination and primaquine can be given. For mixed infection, ACT for P. falciparum can be given with primaquine for 14 days. This is the treatment given in your textbook. Chloroquine 600, this is conventional therapy. 600 milligram means 4 tablets stat followed by 2 tablet, after 6 hours on day 2, another 2 tablet, and on day 3, another 2 tablet, or you can give 2 tablets of higher dose, that is 500 milligram, 2 tablets stat followed by 1 tablet after 6 hours and 1 OD on day 2 and day 3. That is for chloroquine sensitive uncomplicated malaria. In case of chloroquine resistance, we can give quinine with clindamycin and primaquine or ACT. For chloroquine sensitive falciparum malaria, chloroquine as above with primaquine 45 milligram single dose on the second day of chloroquine therapy. For chloroquine resistant, ACT can be given. These are the treatment options available. Any of this, right? Now, what if patient is pregnant? Malaria in pregnancy. If patient is having Vivax malaria, chloroquine can be given until delivery, but no primaquine. Mind well, primaquine is teratogenic, so no primaquine, but weekly chloroquine can be given 300 milligram. If falciparum in first trimester, quinine can be given 10 milligram per kilogram TID plus clindamycin. We have seen that clindamycin is safer in pregnancy and for kids. clindamycin 10 milligram per kilogram for 7 days. In case of second and third trimester, we can't give either quinine or chloroquine. We have to go for ACT, ASP or AL. That means artemisinin sulfadoxine combination or lumefantrine combination. Friends, if you have to write a prescription for, if you are asked to write a prescription for chloroquine sensitive uncomplicated Vivax malaria, in your exam also if it is asked chloroquine sensitive uncomplicated Vivax malaria or uncomplicated falciparum malaria, then you have to write it down in this format. Tablet chloroquine base 500 milligram, supply such 5 tablets. Take 2 tablets at once, followed by 1 tablet 500 milligram 12 hours after, 1 tablet 500 milligram to be taken daily for 2 days. Along with chloroquine, we have to give this symptomatic management. For vomiting, tablet metoclopramide 10 milligram, supply such 6 tablets, 1 tablet to be taken along with chloroquine tablet. Patient will be having fever also. Prescribe tablet paracetamol 500 milligram, supply such 10 tablets. 1 tablet to be taken 2 times a day for 2 days. Then SOS means as and when required. If fever subsides, keep it for future use, or if patient gets headache, patient can take. Followed by tablet primaquine, supply such 14 tablet, 1 tablet to be taken once a day from the second day of chloroquine therapy. Mind well, you have to educate your patient. This should be taken from the second day of chloroquine therapy. This, note it down, this is for chloroquine sensitive uncomplicated Vivax malaria for those patients who can tolerate oral therapy. What if patient is having falciparum, chloroquine sensitive uncomplicated falciparum malaria? Same chloroquine, metoclopramide, paracetamol, but only change is in primaquine. The dose of primaquine here will be 45 milligram and only 1 tablet should be taken on the second day of chloroquine therapy. Rest of the therapy is same. Here patient is able to take oral therapy. Now what if patient can't tolerate oral therapy, that is severe malaria or complicated malaria? We have to give parenteral artemisinin. If parenteral artemisinin is available, then give artesunate or artemether and ACT plus primaquine from the on the second day. If artemisinin parenteral is not available, but patient is not able to tolerate oral therapy or patient is in comatose condition, unconscious condition, we have to give quinine salt in infusion, parenterally quinine or doxycycline 100 milligram OD and clindamycin 10 milligram per kilogram BD for pregnant patients and children below 8 years for 7 days. So this is for severe malaria or patient who cannot tolerate oral therapy. This is again given in your textbook. I am not going into detail line by line, but this is from the textbook only. This is treatment for severe complicated falciparum malaria. That means patient cannot tolerate oral therapy. We have to give either artesunate, artemether or quinine, whichever is available, but mind well, it is to be given in the parenteral form. Followed by, once the patient is conscious, patient can be switched over to oral medication. That is all about malaria and malaria treatment. What you must know, what is required for you to know. Malaria is considered as a must-know region. You should be able to identify, you should be able to write about the causative organism, signs and symptoms and differential diagnosis of malaria, classification of anti-malarial drugs, salient aspects of chief drugs, newer antimalarials, that is artemisinin based combination therapy, and management of various malaria. So friends, that's all about malaria part 1 and part 2. In part 1 we have seen about conventional therapy. In part 2 we have discussed about the newer antimalarials, and we have also seen about management of various malaria. Thank you.